Hi everybody, my name is Nicole Caruso. I'm here today with Verily Magazine and we are going to do a tutorial on professional interview makeup. This kind of makeup is great if you're going on an interview, if you're going to school, if you're going to class, just any time that you need something that looks really clean and fresh and really simple, just highlights your natural features, but also makes you feel a little bit more polished. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with a tinted moisturizer. I love a tinted moisturizer for a professional makeup because it really shows the skin, it shows the texture of the skin, and it keeps it looking really natural, but it also will even out the tone. So I'm using a lot of Beauty Counter products today. I really like them because they're also safer and we don't have to worry about how they impact our health. Beauty products these days have all sorts of ingredients that we're learning how they impact us. And I really like how Beauty Counter is very committed to making sure that these products are safer for us. So I'm just starting with a little dab of that tinted moisturizer on my finger, and I'm just spreading it into my skin to create a nice even canvas. This tinted moisturizer also has a little bit of SPF, which is great if you're looking for some additional sun protection. I'm gonna take this Beauty Counter Tint Skin Foundation only in the areas where I want to tone down a little bit more redness and create a more even base. So I'm taking a tiny bit on my finger, popping some on my chin, and you can use your fingers or a brush. I'm using fingers today because I think it really makes a natural skin finish. Most of us tend to get a little bit of redness on the cheeks, around the nose, on the chin, and sometimes on the forehead, so you can keep those areas in mind. If that's something that you would like a little bit more coverage, you can just focus the product and just gently tap it in. Okay, next I'm going to define my eyebrows with an eyebrow pencil. I'm using a medium tone pencil. I always like to use a spoolie to brush up the hairs of the brows, just so I know where I'm going to be putting the product. So when you're looking for an eyebrow pencil, just find something that matches the tones of the hair, and you're just creating a shadow behind the hair to even out the shape and define them. And just use your natural brow shape as your guide. You can take the spoolie again, brush up, and that will diffuse any of the product and just make it look really nice and simple behind the brows. One thing I like to do is use a gel product on my eyebrows just to set them so that they don't move throughout the day and they stay in the position where I place them. You can also use one that has a bit of a tint, or you can use a translucent shade if you're just looking for it to have a little bit of hold. Now to create the eye look. I always do the eyeshadow before my concealer just in case anything falls down and I can easily clean up. So moving on to the eyes, I'm gonna take a matte dusty rose pink called Chiffon on a nice big fluffy brush, and I'm gonna sweep it across the lower lid. If you have very oily lids, you may wanna put on an eye primer. Some people even use a bit of concealer just to even out the tone on their lid. I find that these shadows, even though I am typically very oily, do last throughout the day and don't crease. So after I've gotten most of the product applied to the lower lid, I'm gonna take the brush and just right into the crease, a little windshield wiper motion to blend. Next, I'm gonna take a tapered brush like this with the brown shade called Feather, dipping just the tip of it into the brush, just like this, tapping off the excess. I'm going to start on that outer corner of the eye. That's going to be my starting point to know where I want the rest of the product to go. You can even see just tapping it in is creating a nice depth on the outer edge of the eye without adding lots of liner or any like really super dark colors. It's just going to highlight the shape of my eye. So what I'm going to do is start wiggling the brush upward into the crease, back and forth. I like to say windshield wiper because it just reminds me to go back and forth, and that what that's going to do is have the brush blend and do all the work for you. And you'll get a nice definition in your crease without having any harsh lines. One little trick I like to do is just take it just on that outer third of the eye underneath on the same fluffy brush. really just accentuates that shape of the eye. So if you're someone that likes to add eyeliner, you can go ahead and add your eyeliner, or you can take an even smaller little detailing brush with that darker shade, and you can go right along the lash line really softly, just to add a bit of depth along the lash line. If you like the way the eyeshadow looked on its own, you can just leave it there. But this almost creates a V shape here along the lashes and then here into the crease. You can do this shape actually with any eyeshadows, and it always creates a really nice natural look. So I've just curled my eyelashes, and I'm now gonna apply my concealer. I'm using this little touch-up concealer pen. You can just click it. I'm really gonna focus the concealer here on the inner corner of the eye just to brighten that spot. Sometimes if you take the concealer too far out, it can kind of crease or just melt away. And I'm gonna use a nice fluffy brush, which is gonna do all the blending for me. And you want your concealer to match your skin tone. So look for something that disappears right into the skin as soon as you blend it. If you can see it after you've blended it, it might be too light or too dark. Okay, now I'm gonna apply my mascara. I always like to put the mirror right under my nose so I can see just where the root begins. And then once I've got the root coated, I just wiggle and pull away. And if you like, you can put a tiny bit on the bottom lashes as well. Just like that. I love a multi-stick like this. This is a great thing to throw in your purse, especially if you're gonna be out and about. This I'm gonna use on my cheeks and my lips. It's in the shade Caramel. It's a beautiful kind of neutral tone. And what I'm gonna do is just feel where that bone of my cheekbone sticks out the furthest and just tap it there. Also gonna apply it to my lips. Just as a really nice, simple, neutral lip. And I'm gonna take a flat topped brush while that's warming up on my skin. The flat top is just like this. What this is gonna do is really blend it in so it looks just like skin but gives you a little bit of brightness. And you can see how it almost disappears, but it's just giving a little bit of color to the cheeks. And last step, if you really want your makeup to last throughout the day, you can take a little powder brush and just pat some powder right through your T-zone just to get it to last that little bit longer, especially if you get a little bit oily. And that is my professional, easy, simple neutral makeup that I think will really highlight your features, make you look and feel more polished, but also really keep the focus on what you're saying, what you're doing, and help you get through your day. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions about products, we will list every single thing we used in the description, but just remember you can use any of the similar tones that work for your skin using the same technique, and you will also get a similar result. So I'm Nicole Caruso with Verily Magazine, and remember, the world needs more of who you are.